we'll see.
You're live.
We're live. Zoom and boom. First video of 2020. Let us be, I'm sure, among the last to wish you a happy new year, new decade, and plenty more stuff to come. But this is the first.
New decade doesn't start till next year.
Is it really?
Yes.
See, because I've read different things on that.
The millennium actually didn't start till 2001.
Okay. Because I would think 2010 to 19 is 10 years. If you think about it. So I thought it was. But anyway, so welcome. New first stream of the year. A lot more content to come here even the next week. But this one is starting it off. First off, chat. Right now on our end, it's unable to connect. If we do not see responses, again, apologies for that. Don't know why YouTube likes to do that sometimes. Yeah, I honestly, that's out of our control. No way of. So if we don't see responses, blame YouTube again. We thought of doing a
just leave comments.
Leave comments, please. Again, if like the video, of course, thumbs up as always.
All of our subscribers, sorry we can't chat, but we love y'all.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course, as always. Yes, and of course, AppleDash is joining me for the first video of the year. Fantasy football year in review. We've kind of done. Yeah, we've done these, of course, we've done the draft night video every year, as we always do on the stream. And now we kind of do a season recap. And the last couple years, to say the least, have been very frustrating, dismal, disappointing, frustrating, not making the postseason from 15 to 17. And then last year having a really good team and unfortunately not. Yeah, the semifinal team not showing up. But the thing about it is when you play a game like fantasy, you learn. You learn from mistakes that you've made in prior seasons and you build from that. And with the team that we got this year, I say it all the time, we get a lot of good players.
What was
at their value. Nighthawks was last year, yes. And that team had done well most of the year, and we were 9-6 and won the division again. And we were the number 1 seed, and then the semifinal, our team only scores 43 points and loses to the 4, the eventual champ. So, but this year we got a ton of players back that we had used before that we knew were consistent. Yeah, we got good value, and we made some big moves even before the season and then during the season that paid off big dividends. And our team was putting up over 100 points on a weekly basis. And it was just win after win. We had a 6-game winning streak, and I'm thinking this could be the one. This team is 7th game is special.
After the 6-game winning streak, the game we lost was only by
9.9. It was the Cowboys 19. It was 98-89. We lost by 9, and that one could have gone either way. And I think that was the game we lost Evans to the hamstring. Yes, it was.
If we would have still had Evans,
if we had been at full health, we would have been fine. But we recovered from that too, and then we went into the playoffs with the best record. We were pretty much top of the league all year. We were the number 1 seed, and so then we played Psychos again in the semifinal. We had played them twice before. We lost by 2 points in a heartbreaker week 1. That was week 1. We were down a lot going to Monday night, and we needed the 3 Saints to try and come back, and they came just short and missed by 2. But then we got revenge in the regular season, beat them pretty big, and then we beat them big again in the semifinal in week 16. Or week 15, I should say. Week 15 with our record 143 points, which was just absolutely insane. And then came the final against BK Weespray, a team that we had been destroyed by in the regular season, really our worst loss of the year, because we had 2 players that week go down to injury with Disley from the Seahawks going down and Josh Gordon with the knee injury. So we were maybe got to be like 130 to 70 something. It was bad. So we knew we had to have a really good game going in. But it was back and forth all weekend long. It was intense. It came down to Monday.
most nervous I've ever been.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, we've had nervous playoff games, but that one certainly is up there. And we had two running backs in the final, and we had with Aaron Jones, who has been killing it from Green Bay all year, and Mike Boone, who was filling in Minnesota for the injured Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. And we were still down 9 at halftime. Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh boy, it's going to be close, going down to the wire either way. And I was worried, Jones was doing all right, Boone wasn't, and Jones was getting involved. But I'm thinking, one of them has to go off in the second half. Well, thankfully, sure enough, Jones did. He got one touchdown first that really started carving into the deficit, and then finally the one that put us really. I mean, that first touchdown gave us a slight lead, by 1 point or 2 points, something small. And then the one that put it over the top and cemented it was the 56-yard touchdown run it's late in the game, and that did it. And so we finished 12-4, best season record period in franchise history. We had never had a 12-win season ever.
We count the playoffs and
that is including postseason. Yes, yeah. So we've never had a 12-win season. And so joining our titles from 2010, the very first with Indiana Bolts and the Nightcrawlers in 2014, 2019, the number 3. And when I saw this thing, I was like, sick. Yeah, this was absolutely sick. It's more like this is pretty. I mean, this is pretty close to the actual. I mean, it's more like a chrome resin, but it's pretty. You can still see yourself.
Yeah, the actual trophy.
Yeah,
I watched a history of the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
on YouTube. I don't remember who did it, but they did a good show. It's sterling silver.
Okay.
Made by Tiffany & Co.
Of course, makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a big, well-known brand.
Oh, and by the way, hold yours up.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Big thank you to Best
Trophies and Awards, Fantasy Trophy
Mesa,
Store.
Arizona.
Yeah, and Fantasy Trophy Store, the subsidiary, made this one. Yes. So, yeah, they do an incredible job.
So, these were pretty much made by the same company.
Yes, yes.
Best Trophies and Awards.
Yep.
What is yours? Best Trophies and Awards.
Best Trophies and Awards. Well, I got it from Fantasy Trophy Store, but
Fantasy Trophy Store.
Yeah, subsidiary. So, yeah, they do an outstanding job.
Big ups to you.
Yeah, big ups. Yeah, if you're in need of fantasy trophies, they are a great outlet or any trophy. Period. Yeah, they are a great source to get from.
And I think we found. I'm not quite sure, but I think we found our company.
Oh yeah,
Going forward, they've done.
And the coolest thing is that they water jet the logo into the center.
Really? Nice.
That's what I've read. It's water jet. Yeah, is what they do to make it. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So you upload when you upload the picture of their logo, they'll spray it over the center and make that, which and it's down to the center accurate. So yeah, I think you could get a closer look there at the alligator there in the center and our Nightcrawler from 2014. Yeah. So yeah, really sweet. I mean, it just this felt like when I'm seeing this point totals every single week, you get that Team of Destiny feel. It's clicking every single week. We weren't losing guys to injuries like prior years had done.
He even said, a number of times through the season, he says, "This is our year.
Yeah,
this is gonna be our year."
Because there was just so much. We say it every year, but consistency. Yeah. Consistent.
We always try for
guys. Yeah, we always want those consistent players, and And this year it was guys like Aaron Jones and Michael Thomas, guys that we've had before we know can produce, and Evans when he was healthy. Allen Robinson was really nice. Even when Trubisky got all that flack for struggling in Chicago, A-Rob was his top weapon. And he was consistently putting up. Darren Waller in Oakland. And, at tight end, a very precarious position in fantasy because elite tight ends are hard to find. And when you can't find a consistent producer, sometimes there's players that have to rotate throughout the year. But we didn't have to do that this time around.
No.
Nor really, we didn't really have to rotate a whole lot throughout the year. There were occasional times when we had to because of bye weeks and whatnot. And
that's just normal.
And that's normal, yeah. the years that I we struggled, we had to play Russian roulette at running back, and because of either injuries or poor production, and this year again we really didn't have to do that too much.
No.
And Jones was a consistent force. Kamara was great at times. Other times he would struggle, but for the most part he was still consistent. And we had solid depth as well.
Yeah.
If I've learned anything,
it's depth.
Depth is critical. Yeah, depth is absolutely critical. Because sometimes there are some weeks when your players might not, show up or they have a bye. You've got to get the good depth.
Yeah.
And I think once we found that, we think about it. We lose Drew Brees early in the year, that thumb injury, and he's out for 6 weeks. We get Russell Wilson, and even when Lamar was. Even when he had a worse matchup, what have you, or when he had a bye week, Russell stepped in.
Yeah.
The week with the bye week, Russell goes off for 49 points. So we never had to worry about quarterback.
No.
With Lamar and Russ. And that's the thing. Dual threat mobile quarterbacks, they're becoming the norm.
Yeah.
They're really becoming the mobile quarterback. You look at Jackson, you look at Russ. Josh Allen in Buffalo is another prime example. So it's still a passing league in some respects, but you got to now prepare for these mobile quarterbacks.
Vince Young was.
Vince was. Yep. Of course, the one that everyone compares Lamar to, Mike Vick.
Yeah.
Everyone, Kaepernick to some degree.
Don't even say his name.
Yeah, I know. But it is a big thing now that these mobile quarterbacks are coming out, and they're so hard to scheme for.
Yeah.
But they're a fantasy gold mine because of that ability, to be, because you get points for the rushing and the rushing touchdowns as well as the passing.
Yeah.
So hence why they're putting up these Madden-like numbers, to that degree. So
I can tell you one thing: next year, I would like to try to get Lamar back.
Well, Lamar's going to go early in drafts, though.
Yeah,
That's the thing. You know he's going to go early. That's my fear. Because everyone says strategy-wise, you can wait on a quarterback. You can wait. You want to build up your running backs and wide receivers first.
I don't think so.
Although, do you remember we got Lamar off of waivers?
Yeah, I know, but
I'm just saying.
Well, that was before he was.
Oh, I know, but
he's going to get snapped up in
I know. Someone's going to be, I don't know, either stupid enough or brilliant enough to take him first round. I don't know. Again, there are a lot saying that he might regress. Because. There's no way he puts up those numbers again.
Bullshit.
Well, it's like Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is, he's still at a high level, but not the number level he was at last year. So.
Yeah, but how much of that is his play and how much of that is the people he's got around him?
True. Yeah, that is true.
You know what? You can have a surefire Hall of Famer, greatest quarterback of all time, Brady.
Nah.
And if you don't have the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends that'll catch those balls.
True.
No homo.
The thing about Lamar, though, is I don't know. Does he really have a whole lot around him? Ingram is more of a ground and pound running back. He's not really a pass catcher. They don't really have a pass catching running back, really. Brown is developing as a receiver, but he's not. But he's just like a deep threat, not really a consistent force. He's got a couple of other receivers, but not like elite guys. Really, his tight end is his best playmaker. Andrews, his tight end, he's really the playmaker. He got one of the best kickers in the game in Justin Tucker.
Yes,
but aside from that, I think he could use some more weapons certainly to be a better passer. But the capability certainly is there. So he's going to go early next year because of this season alone. But the big question is whether he can carry that over into next year. So that's really what it's all going to hinge on.
I think he will.
I'm not saying he can't. I think that's what I'm saying is that everybody's big concern, can he keep putting up that kind of level, into next year.
He's only a rookie this year, ain't he?
No, Lamar's more like second year, I think. Okay. I think. So yeah, we crushed it this year. 6th division title in franchise history. third overall title. We put up 100 points in every win except for one, which is mind-boggling. Let me see if I can. That's the award sheet. We pull up the actual stat from the year if I can find it. There we go. Yeah. So these were our point totals throughout the year. The only win that we didn't have over 100 was week 2 when we beat Cowboys 19, 82-63. But after that, here's the point totals and the wins: 135, 142, 112, 132, 136, 124, 127, 129, 139, 143, and 117. Yeah, I know. It was continually week after week after week. You were just putting up these absolutely insane numbers. And, and to think after week 6, that loss to BK, we were sitting at 3-3. And there was, a bit of, uncertainty. But we were still, in a good spot. We were only one game out of the division at that point. So we were still in the hunt. But then after that, to go on a tear and win 9 of the last 10 games is absolutely insane.
You're right. Second year.
That's what I thought.
2018.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
First round pick.
I thought, yeah, that's what I thought. Lamar was second year. So in terms of the guys we had on the roster, we had Kamara on the roster all year. We had Jones on the roster all year. They were a great 1-2 punch all year. We had Thomas all year. And really after that, it really kind of varied from week to week.
Did a lot of type in there.
Oh yeah. And then we got Lamar on August 19th off of waivers because we dropped Kyler Murray because we felt that would be a stronger move. And it was. it definitely was. Not that Kyler's not going to be great. He's also very mobile well, but not a great offer.
Not great.
Not yet, no. And he's in Arizona, which was in a rebuilding mood, and so they have a long way to go. But yeah, this was just a wild year in terms of the point totals and everything. Yeah. That week 1 game, against Psychos, we had now. Had we started Lamar that week over Drew Brees, we would have won week 1. We didn't know that Lamar was going to go off for 42 against Miami.
We learned.
We learned quickly, yeah, because we had Brees that week with all the Saints. So that was a learning curve. That week we had, Kamara had a good week with 16. Thomas had 12. Delaney Walker was our tight end originally before we shifted to Waller and Disley, but he had a good week 1 with 17. But I think then he got hurt down the stretch too, so that kind of took it out. Then the week 2 win, the only win where he had less than 100 points, we had like 6 guys underwhelm, and including Kamara, Thomas. But we had Lamar for 34. So without that week would have sucked.
Yeah.
So again, that's the week Brees got hurt, and we sat Aaron Jones that week. I forget why. Probably because he was playing Minnesota with a tough matchup. Would be my guess as to why I sat Jones that week. I look back and I'm like, why did I say? Oh, because he had 3 week 1, or maybe because he had only 3 points week 1 is maybe why I sat Jones. So, and then he bounced back with 20. So again, maybe lesson learned there from that. And then we got Waller. And I benched Diggs because Diggs did nothing the first 2 weeks of the season. Then we got rid of Diggs, but that's only because we picked up Mike Evans later because Cowboys 19, thank you very much, put Mike Evans on waivers.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who in their right mind puts Mike Evans on waivers? I get it. He was struggling the first few weeks of the season, but he's still good. When Jameis Winston is good, he's very good. And Evans is still a top target along with Godwin. So it's like, why would you put Mike Evans on waivers?
Because you're an idiot.
Because he was an idiot, and clearly he was not smart. So that gave us.
We've had Mike Evans before.
Oh yes,
and he's a hoss.
And yes, he was. Yeah, and he was amazing. And then the week after we get him, goes off for 37 points against the Giants.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm watching his points go up, and I'm like, Cowboys 19. What the blank were you thinking? Thank you for the early gift. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah, that week, the 135 against the Stanimals, that was, 37 from Evans, 27 from Kamara, 20 from Lamar, 13 from Jones. 13.
Didn't we play Cowboys 19 again?
Well, yeah, later in the season. Then
So,
and they beat us because Evans got hurt. So maybe in a way it was kind of, I don't know if I want to say karmic, but
yeah.
But karmic, ironic, coincidental.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I knew you were going to know that. Thinking a lot of smart stuff.
Yeah, right. But and even that week, like Russell goes off for 45 on our bench. Like, so again, the depth that shows the depth that we have.
Right.
And Waller got put up 13.
Yeah.
And so that put him in Walker's spot because Walker was done at that point. He's only had 6. So yeah. So at that point, we kind of knew what we had, at that point. Then you go into week 4 playing an undefeated All Balls, and that was a tough loss because I think that could have been a winnable week too. We only lost by 8, 91-83. But that week was, again, this was kind of a rough move. I picked Wilson over Jackson because I thought against Arizona, one of the weakest secondaries, that Russ would go off. Instead, the Seahawks shifted the game script and they beat the Cardinals with the run instead of the pass. So that one bit me in the butt, because Lamar goes off for 29 against Cleveland. Wilson only gets 15. So again, had we started Lamar, we would have won. Kamara also underwhelmed against Dallas. He only had 8. Waller only had 5 against the Colts, surprisingly. But there were still some good performances.
Buddy, I'm sensing a pattern here.
You start Lamar, period. No matter what. No matter what matchup.
Yeah.
In future fantasy
That
years
is
for any fantasy gurus.
Guru.
I almost said guru, so I thought I'd just let that one go. For any fantasy gurus watching, you start Lamar, period. Don't matter what the matchup is. Don't matter. I say don't matter what the matchup is. Don't matter what the projections is. You start him, you set him, and forget him because he's good.
Is that the villain's TV show from Despicable Me, Guru TV?
I don't know.
Yeah. There's your first blooper of 2020. But no, there were still some good performances that week. Evans still had 14. Jones had 11. So. And then Disley, even behind Waller, again, solid tight end number 2, had 11 points. So we were starting to maybe use him going forward. So tough loss there, but still a decent week. Then week 5 against the winless KHD 13 that really had not really played in the season at all. This guy only had 1 win all year. I don't know how he won a game, but he was just not setting his lineup. We blew his butt out of the water, 142-47. At the time, a record for us. But my goodness, Jones 41 against the Cowboys, Thomas 30 against Tampa Bay. Then we got Allen Robinson 21 against the Raiders. I mean, and Evans got shut out. Like, this was the week that Evans got a 0 and we still scored 142. Like, that is insane. I know, right? Because Lattimore was on him like a stank on, I don't know what the saying is. Yeah, exactly. Because he was just all over him. But yeah, and even Lamar had a down week that week. He had 13 against Pittsburgh. Russell goes off for 37 against the Rams. So again, it was a situation where the second quarterback outscored the first. But still, a killer week, and that really, I think, at that point, kind of set the tone. Until week 6, when we lost to BK in that unfortunate loss, the 123-78. Yeah, it was bad, losing Gordon to the knee injury, then Disley to the torn Achilles. I knew right away, like as soon as I saw, it's a non-contact when he plants the foot, it's like, oh, that's not good. So yeah, we knew right away that Disley was done. That was the week where also A-Rob was on a bye, Waller was on a bye. Lamar still had 30 points, but everyone else underwhelmed. Jones 3, Kamara 6, Thomas 8. I mean, it was not a good week. Our top defense at the time was on a bye, the Bills. We used Washington as a plug and play, and so yeah, that was a rough week.
Yeah,
that was rough. But after that, then the turnaround. Cheeseheads dominant, 112-45. I played Wilson over Jackson that week because Baltimore was playing Seattle. Could have gone either way. They both had pretty good weeks. Russ had 15, Jackson 22, but Waller went off for 24 against Green Bay. That was huge, especially after losing Disley.
Start Jackson.
Yeah.
Period.
Jones 14, Thomas 13, A-Rob had 14. The Bills defense had 13. This was a couple weeks where Kamara didn't play due to injury. So we were without Kamara for a brief time, but we were trying to find a solid number 2 running back. Still, didn't hurt us too much. Still had a decent week. Then week 8, Team S4. This was a tight one. Because Team S4 had a good team too, but we won it 132-116. Kamara was out again, but Jones walk-off touchdown, 67-yard, won it, and that put us in the wild card spot. And
we a 67-yard touchdown.
Yes, yeah. So the final was not the only time that Jones won a game for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went off for 33. Evans again a big week with 31. Jackson was on a bye this week, so we had to start Russell, but he had 19. Thomas 17. So again, those big 4 carrying us for the most part. So still huge week. Then week 9, ABC. This was a dominant win, 136-65. This was the week Russell Wilson went off 49 points against Tampa Bay. Absolutely insane. Even though Lamar still had 30 against New England, that was a huge performance. Evans had 24. DK Metcalf had a good week that week after we got him going off for 20. Maher, the Dallas kicker, had 15. Bills defense had a good week. This is when Kamara and Thomas were on bye, so we had to shuffle around a bit. But still, even with a couple underperformers, those double-figure scores, including Russ, powered us through that week. So yeah, just kept plugging along, and I even said right here, we're a force to be reckoned with at the moment.
Yeah,
and that was very, very true. Then week 10, NSI Russ. This one again, where the studs carried us again, 124-78. Lamar again back in the lineup, goes off for 38 against Cincinnati. Jones put up 27 against Carolina. Thomas 15 points. Kamara came back after the injuries. Only had 7 against Atlanta, unfortunately, but it was nice to have him back in the lineup. So again, a couple underwhelming performances, but still, again, your studs carry you, and that trio of Lamar, Jones, and Thomas was really our big trio for the year.
Yeah,
those were really the 3 that we could consistently line. Maybe Evans is a 4, but yeah, those are the main consistent threats. Then week 11, this was the really nervous one against Restore the Roar. This was because Restore the Roar, you really had to ignore their record because they could put up a ton of points. Like they were, before we became the top scoring team in the league, they were the top scoring team in the league. And so I knew this one was not going to be easy, especially with Wilson on bye, Jones on bye. So it was close, but we pulled it out because he had Phillip Rivers and he threw a 4th interception late, and that enabled us to hold the lead. So we pulled it out 127-125.
That was close.
Yeah, that was the closest of the year. 6 of the 9 were in double figures, led by Lamar's 40. 49ers D had 18, Thomas 17. Carlos Hyde filled in nicely as the RB2 with Jones off and had scored 12. Kamara had 11, and Lutz had 10. And we got Lutz, I think, was huge too, getting a consistent kicker.
Yeah.
We shoveled kickers a lot throughout the year, but I think once we got Lutz from the Saints, that was big too. So close call there, but thankfully pulled it out. Then the rematch with Psychos. This, of course, started the divisional again, and this was the critical stretch. We really had to assert ourselves, and we did 129-80. That gave us the division lead. That was the 6th straight win for us, and now we had the path to the number 1 seed. Lamar again goes off 45 points against the Rams. I mean, that was the Monday Night Football game, and it was just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. I threw 5 touchdown passes in that game.
Yeah,
just dominated the Rams. Robinson had a nice game against the Giants with 19. The Steelers defense picking them up late was huge.
Sure.
The schedule they had down the stretch, they had 18 against Cincinnati. Thomas 16 points and Lutz with 10. So 5 of the 9 in double figures. So even when our running backs like underwhelmed, everyone else picked up the slack.
Yeah,
so that was big for us. Then the Cowboys 19 game, and that was the tough one. That was where Metcalf cost us with his fumbling.
Yeah,
he pretty much single-handedly lost us that week, and then Rudolph.
Don't draft Metcalf.
And then Rudolph going off for him. Yeah. I mean,
don't no.
It's. He's
hang up your boots, DK.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah. I mean,
Whatever.
when he's good, but when he's bad, he's so bad. Like that's you can't be inconsistent.
Sure.
And that's the thing, you just can't be inconsistent. But Lamar, decent week against the 49ers, had 24. Steelers D had 17, Lutz 14, Waller 10. But everyone else underperformed. Kamara, Jones didn't hit their marks again. Thomas 4, Evans 5, and then Metcalf with 5. That was just a rough week. Yeah, that was just a rough week.
Yeah.
But didn't panic after that. Played the Stanimals again. Kicked their butts again. Even worse than the first time. 139-52. Just again, consistent double-figure producing. And we won. That clinched us the division for the 6th time because All Balls lost that week. We left with number 1 seed. But the problem was with that week, the injuries. The injuries hit us that week very, very hard. That was the week that Evans went down, actually. So it was the week after we lost to Cowboys 19 and where Evans got hurt. So Evans' hamstring happened that week. Scarborough's ribs hurt that week. Shark at the ankle injury, even though those 2 were on our bench. So, but still, Lamar 25, the Steelers defense 25, Jones 24, Thomas 19, Robinson 16. At least Evans gave us 12 before he got hurt. Lutz with 12. I mean, really the only ones that did bad were Waller and Kamara. So
that's a kicker get 12 points.
Dude, the Saints offense. If you can find the key to the kicker, you got to have a good offense.
Yeah. You
got to have an offense that A is good and B can produce opportunities for the kicker to kick.
I was just gonna say that you got to have an offense that puts a kicker on the field.
Exactly, because if a team is too good in the red zone, then the kicker doesn't get opportunities. So that's what makes the kicker position kind of tenuous because you got to find one that is at least going to have the opportunities to kick in the games, So, but with the Saints,
and not just extra points.
Exactly,
you ain't going to be scoring 12 touchdowns
or 12 points. Kicker scoring 12 touchdowns, huh? What is that?
No.
You said 12 touchdowns.
I know.
Okay.
Your offense ain't going to be scoring 12 touchdowns.
Oh, no.
Put
correct.
Kicker
in the all extra points. Correct. Yes.
That's
what you meant. Okay. But
you're not going to have a kicker that kicked 12 extra
exactly.
points. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, you have to get the field goals. And the nice thing about kicker is for fantasy, if your kicker has a longer leg and kick a longer distance, you kick one from 50 plus, that's 2 bonus points.
Yeah.
So the 5-pointer. So
which he can.
Yes, he can.
Let's can.
Yes. So, helps when you play indoors most of the time at home. So
now is that 50 and over?
It's 50 and over.
51.
No, it's 50 and up. It's 50 plus. So yeah, anything 50 above.
Yeah.
So you get the extra points. So that gave us a lot of momentum going into the postseason. And,
yes, it did.
And so we were the number 1 seed, got the division, had to make a lot of moves because of the injury bug, but again, depth and good schedules. And that's what I need to learn from last year. You look at the players that are there, you see who, because I use Fantasy Pros and to recommend who they should pick up, but I also look at their schedules. Do they have good matchups? Are they getting carries? Are they getting catches? And do they have good matchups? And I think I didn't do that as much last year. So I was more attentive to that this year, paying attention.
I don't really go on projections much.
Oh, I know you don't. Yeah. But I think schedule should mean something.
I think we did learn to play the matchups a little.
A little,
the matchup matchup wise, yes. Projection wise, not so much.
Right.
I hate playing projections because you never know.
Exactly. That's what makes fantasy so much of a fickle game. Yeah. So
you could be projected to go off for 30 and then get hurt.
Exactly. Right. And injuries are part of it. Right.
know?
Exactly. Right. So, but yeah. So then the semifinal, or should I say the record-setting semifinal,
At 146.
the 143 against Psycho 7X. Yeah, that was, to think, 100 points more than what the Nighthawks scored last year. I mean, that's mind-blowing. Like, but again, that shows how strong our team was and the depth and all of that. And even our bench that
100
week,
more points than the
Nighthawks scored, because remember the Nighthawks had 43 in the semifinal, and now we have 143. And I'm like, how fitting is that? To score 100 more points than that team. But Lamar with 46 against the Jets. Yeah. Thomas with 18. Jones 17.
Yeah.
Robinson 12. Waller 12. The Steelers 11. Lutz 10. Slayton 9. Kamara the lowest with 8. If your lowest is 8, that's not too bad,
No,
it's
not.
You got nothing to complain about. And the bench, even the bench guys, Wilson 23, Adrian Peterson 14, Mostert 9, Williams 13, Metcalf 9. Even our bench was doing good scoring.
Yeah.
So again, depth. I cannot emphasize enough how important depth is to a team, to having a successful team.
Yeah.
You always want to be on the lookout. You always want to be looking at waivers, looking at who's out there. If you find any way to make your team better, by all means, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. If you have an underperforming player that's not living up to snuff, and there's a better guy out there, do it. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
And then after that, BK and the final, and again, it was so tense.
Mm-hmm.
I was really like, in the back of my mind, like who to start like all week in the number 2, like Kamara, because Kamara had been struggling, not scoring touchdowns. I'm thinking to myself, we got to score touchdowns to beat BK.
Yeah.
Like we have to. And Boone's got an opportunity here to take advantage with Cook and Madison being out. It's a great opportunity for him because Minnesota runs the ball a lot. And so I started over Kamara. Yeah, thinking that would be that didn't pan out. And Kamara went off for 23. But so this could have been a lot worse had I had a bigger win had I stuck with Kamara. But thankfully, Jones went off, pulled it out. Lamar at 35, Jones 25, Thomas 19. Again, our main 3 carried us all year. Did it again when they needed the most. Perriman filled in nicely with 10, taking over the top spot in Tampa Bay with Evans and Godwin out at receiver. Steelers D had 10. Lutz had a good week with 8. So really, again, Robinson was held in check by Kansas City, only had 5. Waller was held in check at 3, and Boone had the bad week with 2. But really, we were helped by the fact that, BK didn't have much of a bench really at all. None of his bench guys showed up. But then you look at his guys, and Breeze goes off for 29. But really, after that, the defense. He has one good receiver. He has Kittle, which is a great tight end. But then except for that, these guys really didn't do much of anything, Yeah. So we were fortunate in that. And Lockett getting held to 1, that was huge. So, yeah, it certainly was not easy, but it was nice when it was finally we were over the top and it was all said and done. Mm-hmm. And getting to fire the confetti cannon at the stairway.
That was good.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a big cleanup job, let me tell you, though. I now sympathize with the Mascot Hall of Fame when they have to clean up their confetti every time they fire it off there.
They probably have a team.
I'm sure they do. They have the big brooms. They have the massive brooms that clean up a lot of stuff up. So yeah, I had to get down on my hands and knees and pick it up with one by one. So yeah, so it was that was fun. But
say no more firing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But then again, no victory shower either. No,
yeah, we learned that.
Yeah, no water, no Gatorade bath. No, at least not indoors.
No.
Here's the recap from CBS Sports. It's all over now, but the crying. Alley Gators are a nice victory over BK Weespray with 117-103. That win stopped BK Weespray's winning streak at 5 games. Alley Gators ended their triumphant season at 12-4. BK Wiesprey will close their 2019 at 9-6-1. Alley Gators been relying on Michael Thomas all year, and he came through again this week. They were led by the trio of Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, and Thomas, who combined for 68% of the team's points.
Dang.
Yeah. That's all in a day's work for Thomas, who is the fourth best player in the league. He broke Marvin Harrison's single-season reception record with this quick grab, his 144th on the year, to set the Saints up at the goal line before quickly adding catch 145 for the score. Although Coach Chris got the win, he cannot have been happy with Mike Boone's performance this week. Boone failed to show up, scoring 2 points. Meanwhile, there were plenty of chefs cooking up this week's loss for BK Wiesprey. They were brought down by 4 underperformers, the worst of whom was Tyler Lockett, 1 point. Lockett has now been the worst starter on his team 4 times this season, which is more than any other player on BK Wiesprey. Yeah, so even though he's the top option in Seattle, Lockett tended to underwhelm. The 5 overperformers on Coach Kyle's squad did their part to balance things out, and then some. Drew Brees was the best of them, scoring 29 points. Brees is on quite a hot streak, performing better than any other starter of the last 3 weeks. BK Wiesprey certainly didn't lose because of coaching issues this week. Coach Kyle started A.J. Brown and Carlos Hyde instead of Anthony Miller and Devin Singletary, despite expert advice to do the exact opposite. These decisions boosted BK Wiesprey's final score by 18 points. It also earned Coach Kyle Coach of the Week honors that gave their squad more extra points than anyone else in the league. So, yeah, he gets the Coach of the Week honor, but we get the hardware.
Dude.
Yeah, right. Oh, you went against the experts. Ooh, scary.
Okay.
It didn't matter in the end on the scoreboard, though.
No.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So that's how the season really broke down. So now the awards. So awards for the year. Team MVP, best player of the team for the entire season. This was, I think, a spirited debate between Jackson, Jones, Thomas, and Waller, but we gave it to Jones. I mean, Lamar obviously could have easily taken this, but we felt, Jones stepping up when he needed to the most in the final, scoring the 2 touchdowns late, 2 walk-off winners this year.
Yeah.
That's hard to pick against,
Yeah, it is.
Even though Lamar was so consistent, Jones was just as strong. So we went with Aaron Jones there.
Yep.
Now, best waiver wire pickup. This was, again, a lot of good candidates. Russell Wilson, Carlos Hyde, Allen Robinson. We went with Mike Evans. I mean, again, the fact that he was available for somebody to put him on waivers in week 3 is all the more stunning. But then for us to get him, and we know how good he's been, absolutely incredible. And again, sucked that he got hurt down the stretch. But when he was healthy, he balled out, and we know how good he is. Biggest season disappointment, the biggest fancy bust for the year. Here we had Kamara, Tate, and Diggs as well, but DK Metcalf. I mean, just so inconsistent and so frustrating. And to lose that game that 1 week for us was a pain. So he got the award there.
Biggest disappointment. The one award you don't want to get.
That's right. The award that you don't want to win.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, you were the biggest bust. Congratulations. Most heart-wrenching moment of the season for an individual basis, kind of just kind of stuff in the year. Losing the heartbreaker to Psychos week 1, losing Breeze to the injury week 2, or losing Evans to the hamstring week 14. But losing Will Dissly week 6, that was tough because Dissly was producing like a tight end 1, and because Russell Wilson uses his tight ends in Seattle, and
how do you remember which one you picked?
I italicized it.
Oh,
yeah, that's how you can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a tough one considering it was also the same week we lost that week to BK Wiesprey, so that's why it hurt so much. So. I mean, thankfully, we had Waller as a back going forward, and he panned out nicely over the rest of the year. But Dissly was putting up some really nice numbers when he was healthy, so that was tough. Worst draft pick, dumbest decision we'll look back on and try to not make again. Duke Johnson was in this running, Michael Gallup, Curtis Samuel. We went with Dante Pettis from the 49ers because we drafted him thinking, oh, yeah, he could be the top option in San Francisco. He could be a great option for Jimmy G, maybe wide receiver 3. And he put up a donut in week 1. He did absolutely nothing. So he did not last after that performance. He was gonzo. So So really, all those didn't really tend to last very long. Gallup eventually, after he got healthy, he was, decent. But after that, really, Samuel had so much hype and he fanned out. And Johnson was a nice compliment to Carlos Hyde, but Carlos Hyde was the better player for the Texans. Worst in season decision left us kicking, screaming, wondering what might have been at the end of the day. Here there was dropping Devin Singletary in week 7, dropping Diggs week 3, dropping Bills receiver John Brown in week 3, or dropping Terry McLaurin week 13. We went with starting DK Metcalf over Allen Robinson in the loss to Cowboys 19. Had he started A-Rob instead, we would have at least gotten out of it with a tie. Again, I put a lot of faith in Metcalf, thinking that he would be a top weapon for Wilson in that game, and he was getting targets, but then couldn't hold on to the dang football. So that was very frustrating. And A-Rob had a solid week, and I'm like, why am I doubting Allen Robinson at this point in the season? So yeah, that was tough. Now, the best in-season decision, I think this one was easy. There were a lot of good options here, getting Russell Wilson after Breeze went down, drafting Jones and Kamara, getting Evans and Robinson. But no, this is getting Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
This is a no-brainer. This is, making that move in the preseason to get Lamar paid huge dividends. And a lot of people were doubting Lamar Jackson because they said, he'll never throw. He's not a passing quarterback in the NFL. He can't throw. He's a runner only. Well, he proved a lot of people wrong in that department this year for sure.
Yes, he did.
So he can't throw the football. You give him the right weapons around him, and he can make that happen. So yeah, that was massive. Best individual performance. A lot of good ones to choose from with this one. Evans 37 in the week 3 win. Jones 33 in the walk-off in week 8. Wilson's 49 when he filled in week 9. Lamar's 40 in week 11 in the close win, or Lamar's 46 in the semifinal. But we went with, of course, I think the obvious choice, Jones with the 25 points and the clinching touchdown in the final.
Yes.
I mean, that was the biggest by far. Again, all those are good point total wise, but Jones stepping up not once but twice when needed walk-offs was massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. So that was the obvious choice there. Mr. Reliable Award. This is the most consistent player. So consistently putting up strong numbers all season. Starting status never in doubt. Again, a lot of good options to choose from. Again, the usual names here.
I think we went with Lamar.
Yeah, we went with Lamar for this one. We didn't give him MVP, but we gave him the most consistent because of those numbers. Yeah, because Jones has been running for this, Kamara, Thomas, Evans. But yeah, this is Lamar. I mean, again, the most consistent. Lamar hardly ever had a bad week, if ever. He rarely did not hit his numbers. So it was very, very rare that happened. So consistently putting up big numbers. The Sixth Man Award, the most reliable bench player. Didn't spend the entire time on a roster, but when they did, they were putting up impressive numbers.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde was consideration for this. Adrian Peterson, Metcalf, Disley. We went with Russell Wilson. I mean, again, when Russ didn't start a whole lot for us. When he did, he was still putting up big numbers, including the week when he filled in, put up 49. So yeah, I think there was no, he was there for us in case we needed a second option, in case something did happen to Lamar. Thank God it didn't, but Russ was still balling out. So Russell Wilson gets the award for the Sixth Man. The 1 Week Wonder Award, made the most of his 1 week on the team's roster. Couple good ones in this. Darius Slayton, he had 9 points in the semifinal, the wide receiver. Golden Tate from the Giants as well, or Jalen Samuels from the Steelers. We went with Rashad Perriman from Tampa Bay, scoring 10 points in the championship game as our third wide receiver. Filled in nicely, when with Evans out and Godwin both out with the hamstring issues. Perriman stepped in right away and made the most of it. So, and that's what can happen. You take advantage of your opportunity and it pays off. And Perriman didn't find the end zone, but had over 100 yards. So that any point matters in that case. So that was huge. So kudos to Perriman. And then a new award for this year was the best kicker, defense, and special teams. So this was designed for the kicker or the DST who shined brightest consistently and was always putting up strong numbers throughout the season. Will Lutz was a candidate for this. Brett Maher from the Cowboys, the Steelers defense, the Bills defense. We went with the 49ers because we had them over weeks 10 and 11, and they combined for 39 points over those 2 weeks.
Yes.
The Niners did a really nice job. Now they started showing a little bit down the stretch. Plus, they had a tougher schedule, which is why we got the Steelers for the last half of the season.
Mhm.
And the Steelers did great things, but for those 2 weeks where they filled in, the Niners did a really, really nice job. So, so those are the awards. Thoughts on like 2020 going forward? Like how do we like follow like what we did this year? Like,
Well, to me, it's easy.
yeah,
How we follow
yeah,
is we look at, again, consistency. Who
Yeah.
has been on our roster before that has been consistent, and we try to replicate
yep,
those rosters.
yep,
You know, if we can get Lamar Jackson
right,
back, I
Yep.
want him. If
Yeah.
we can get Evans, I want him. If
Yeah.
we can get
Thomas.
Thomas,
Yeah.
I want him.
yeah. The guys that carry us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. If we can at least get, because it's guys that you play the game long enough,
Mhm.
and like what we have for now, 14 seasons, yeah, and yeah, 14, 14 years,
14.
and you know what guys are gonna come through for you on a consistent basis, and
Yeah.
so I mean, the league changes every year with new rookies and players changing teams and what have you, with their situations, but if they still thrive where they're at, then they're going to keep producing on a consistent level. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing for next year. There's a lot of coaching changes around the league as well. Ron Rivera now going to Washington, which I think is a big get for them. I thought Ron Rivera was like the best candidate out there. Like I was even stunned that Carolina fired him, after all he had done for the Panthers. But David Tepper, the owner, said he wanted an offensive-minded coach. Rivera is more defensive-minded, and who knows what he's going to do with the talent in Washington, because Washington's got a lot of young talent with Haskins and McLaurin and all that. But we'll see what he does there.
Mhm.
Dallas finally let go of Jason Garrett.
They did.
Yes, yesterday they finally did. So Garrett is bye-bye, and Mike McCarthy is going to Dallas.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
Mike McCarthy is confirmed.
He is confirmed Dallas. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a great get. I think McCarthy can do so much for Dak Prescott and that offense. I think that's a good fit for him. I think
Dak, please get along with Mike.
I think he will. I think Dak will get along well with McCarthy. I think, I understand there was the rift with Aaron Rodgers,
and
but
let's have Dallas in the Super Bowl there, Mike.
Yeah, right. I think that's what Cowboys fans are probably going to expect at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then today, the Panthers announced that they got Matt Rule from Basecom. But I was surprised at that, because Rule even said, I don't want to take the NFL jobs. Like, I'm not interested in the NFL jobs. I want to stay. But the Panthers gave him like $70 million over 8 years.
Yeah.
You're not going to turn that down. Like, if that's a sweet enough offer,
I think it was $60 million over 7.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was 60 million. I thought it was 70, but okay.
No,
60 million over 7 still. And then the Panthers paid Baylor $7 million to buy out his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a pretty sweet offer. Like, I can't be too surprised that Rule accepted that. I mean, he had done so much for that program. He had turned it around after the slow start.
And then who's this guy, Judge?
Yeah, Joe Judge going to the Giants.
Where was he?
He was the Patriots wide receiver special teams coach.
Yeah. Good luck, Patriots.
Yeah, well, the Patriots wide receivers was their most underwhelming thing this season, though. So I don't know. I feel like that's and Colin Cowherd said it this afternoon. Like, it was like he thought maybe it was like a panic move by the Giants, kind of like a last minute, like, oh, we got to hire somebody, so we'll just get this guy. Like, he was not even mentioned as a candidate. So it was so out of left field. I see the name, like, who the heck is Joe Judge? Like, I didn't even know who the guy was. So it's like I was surprised as Colin was, because I didn't even know who this guy was. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out for the Giants. The Giants' job is a great job. Don't get me wrong, because you got a young quarterback, a young running back in Saquon Barkley, receiver talent up and down the roster, but he's kind of just picking a guy out of left field. I don't
Who's
know.
their quarterback now?
Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, the rookie out of Duke.
Eli's still on the team?
Eli's still on the team, but I really feel he's not going to be once the offseason happens. He has even said, I don't want to be a backup. I'm not going to retire. I want to be somewhere. I just don't want to be a backup. So I don't know.
Put him in Jacksonville or something.
Jacksonville really needs a quarterback. There are going to be a lot of teams in the draft that need a quarterback. And the quarterback class is so deep this year. Well, we know Cincinnati's going to take Burrow number 1.
Bring him to Indy.
Who?
Eli. Another Manning.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, I haven't heard it. But that would certainly be interesting. But
any more news on Brady going to the Colts? Or is that just a rumor?
I mean, it's a rumor. It's not.
I mean, are they going to try to get him?
The Colts need to get somebody, like whether it's through the draft or free agency. The Colts have to get somebody. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Brissett is fine. He's not a franchise guy. I don't think.
XFL getting talk on PTI. How about that?
Well, yeah, because they're going to implement a ton of rule changes.
Really?
Yeah, I can. Here, I'll pull up the article. But no, I mean, and I told you who the Colts are kind of rumored to be tied with, right?
Oh, you might have.
Well, of course, Brady's name has been brought up. Derek Carr.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would not be bad with any of those 4.
I don't think Bridgewater is going to.
You don't think Bridgewater's a franchise guy?
I do, but I don't think he's going to leave New Orleans.
Really?
I really don't. No.
You don't think he minds being Breeze's clipboard holder?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he does because he said he loves learning under Breeze. He said that,
I mean, he went 5-0 when Breeze was hurt, though.
Well,
Clearly he can win games.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly he can win games as the starter. So I don't know, but yeah. So we know the Bengals are going to take Burrow number 1.
Yeah.
I think Washington has the 2 pick, and they're probably going to take Chase Young at 2.
Okay.
From Ohio State, and then after that, I mean, the Giants don't need a quarterback. Miami will need a quarterback probably. They're probably going to take one where they draft.
By the way, speaking of quarterbacks in the draft,
yeah,
what did Tua decide?
Tua is going pro.
Okay.
Tua is going pro. Yep. So he and Saban had a press conference a couple days ago, and Tua announced he's going pro. Okay. Which again, I don't blame him for.
I don't
why risk getting hurt again in college when you don't need to?
At least when you get hurt in the NFL or I think any pro sports, you sign your contract and at least some of that is guaranteed.
Exactly.
So why risk at least a little bit of money guaranteed to get hurt?
So Cincinnati at 1, they're going to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
Washington at 2, no, they have Haskins. Detroit 3, maybe, but it depends on Stafford's health. Mm-hmm. That really depends on that. So maybe. Giants, no. Miami at 5, yes, they will probably take a quarterback. The Chargers at 6 could take a quarterback, depending on what happens with Rivers. Carolina at 7, yeah, I could see them doing that because Cam Newton's held us up in the air. Mm. Arizona at 8, no. Jacksonville at 9, hell yes. Cleveland at 10, probably not. I mean, they are, depending on what the new coach, because Cleveland now is the only opening that hasn't been filled yet. And Cleveland has a ton of candidates, so Cleveland's doing a ton of interviews. So depending on who gets hired in Cleveland, whether they like Baker Mayfield or not is to be seen. Jets at 11, no, they have Darnold. Oakland at 12, no, they have Derek Carr unless they decide to ship him off. Now the Colts are at 13. I don't know if there's going to be a quarterback that falls that far in the draft. I mean, maybe like Jordan Love, the kid from Utah State, or if Justin Herbert from Oregon falls that far, or Jalen Hurts. So there's a couple options there. It might not hurt the Colts maybe to trade up to get Herbert, or some are saying even Tua, could be a good fit for the Colts. I don't know about that, but
they're nuts. Tua's not going to fall.
Well, no, I know Tua's not going to fall far. I'm not saying that. I don't think Tua would have gone pro if he knew he was going to fall far in the draft. So yeah, so I think Tua still thinks he's going to be a top 10 pick. So yeah, the Colts might take quarterback at 13. That remains to be seen. After that, though, I think really I don't think anyone's going to go down this far to get quarterback unless they trade up. So, yeah, it's a good class. It's going to be deep. There's a lot of intrigue to it, but yeah, I don't think the Colts are going to stick with Brissett. I don't think they are. I mean, they like Brissett. They like what he brings to the table, but he's not a franchise guy. I don't think. I want Cleveland to hire Josh McDaniels personally.
Is he going to leave New England?
No, he's interviewing. No, he is interviewing for Cleveland. He's interviewing for Cleveland. Who else? The Chiefs offensive coordinator is. The Ravens offensive coordinator is. The 49ers defensive coordinator is.
And is McDaniels going to be a dick again and spurn whoever?
Right. Yeah, that's the big question mark with McDaniels. Like, how committed is he to New England?
Why even try?
I know, right? Yeah, why? If he's so committed to New England, then why would he even be a candidate?
He freaking spurned us with the Colts.
Yes,
and that
left a bitter. But we got Frank Reich out of it, and he's not done. Frank hasn't done a bad job. It's just you can't blame Reich on the 7-9 season. You can't, because the injuries were, I think, too big a factor. It was too much to overcome because Brissett was out for a few weeks, and you were playing Brian Hoyer. T.Y. Hilton was out for a few weeks with a calf injury.
Luck retiring.
Yeah, Luck retiring. Mack was out with the broken hand for a while. So, yeah, the injuries are too much to overcome. So I'm not going to blame Reich for the season struggles. Okay, here's the XFL story. And I do want to start doing, if I can get the days off where the games are on, nights that I'm here, not working. I want to do XFL streams. I want to do commentary for XFL games because that'd be fun. We did it for the Alliance briefly when the Alliance was around. We had remember the kickoff stream that we had with the Commanders and the fleet. I want to do something like that for the XFL too. So here we go. So the XFL, this is from ESPN. The XFL's official rulebook includes more than 24 changes to the conventional approach of pro football, according to league officials who are rolling out specifics this week. Most of the tweaks, such as a running game clock and a 3-tiered extra point, are focused on accelerating the pace of games and elevating interest in traditionally tedious plays. What we did is listen to fans, XFL Commissioner Oliver Luck said. Of course, that's Andrew's daddy. That's Andrew's daddy.
Good get for commissioner.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And what they told us is that they love
football.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And what they told us is that they love this game, but they would like it a little more faster pace and a little more excitement. They thought there was too much idle time. I agree. We tried to listen to what they didn't want also. They didn't want gimmicks or things that were inauthentic. They also didn't want to be complicit when it comes to player safety. So what we wanted to do is take a great game and make it a little better. The XFL's 8 teams open training camp this week and will kick off their 10-week regular season on February 8th. Most of the on-the-field product look familiar to fans, but a 2-year project to innovate some of the aspects of the game led to a number of significant changes. They include a kickoff designed to discourage touchbacks and increase the likelihood of a return. The ball will be kicked off from the 30-yard line, but the coverage and blocking teams will line up at the receiving team's 35 and 30-yard lines, respectively. Only the kicker and returner can move until the ball is caught or 3 seconds after it hits the ground. A touchback will be spotted at the 35-yard line. Kicks out of bounds will go to the 45. So they want the returns. So I don't know how that is an improvement on player safety, but if you want to improve player safety, you discourage kickoffs altogether, I think. Isn't that what the Alliance did?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Alliance didn't have kickoffs. You just started at if you won the coin toss, you started at the 35, I think. So yeah, I don't know how that improves safety, but whatever. Players can't leave the line.
The rule that the defenders can't move until the ball is caught.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, only the kicker returner can move till the ball is caught. Okay,
because you can't just be standing there.
Right, the whole line can't move. I guess that makes sense. Players can't leave the line of scrimmage on punts till after the kick. Any kicks that go to the end zone or out of bounds will mark to the 35-yard line or wherever the ball went out of bounds, whichever is better for the receiving team. The idea is to discourage fair catches and coffin corner kicks while providing more incentive to go for it on 4th down. That's understandable. 3 options after scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, that one Knew a little bit about
Okay.
it. Like a 2, like
yeah.
a 1.
There's a
2,
1-point play from the 2-yard line,
Mm-hmm.
a 2-point from the 3-yard line, or a 3-point from the 10. So multiple ways to add extra points.
Yeah.
There is no option to kick. So no kicking.
Oh.
No kicking extra points at all. So I assume there's still field goals then, but no extra points. A shootout style overtime. Each team will get 5 single play possessions from the 5-yard line. Well, that's interesting. That's very different. If the game is still tied at that point, the rotating possessions will continue until there is a winner. The XFL hopes that overtimes will be rare, in part because of the multiple options for points after touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, they don't want – the XFL clearly does not want overtimes, but if there is, it's this like 5-play sudden death, or shootout style.
Yeah.
So each team gets 5 single play possessions from the 5-yard line. So
score 3 touchdowns when the other team only scores 2 of the 5, you win. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yes.
A rule that allows 2 forward passes on 1 play, providing the first doesn't go past the line of scrimmage. Okay. I don't know how that'd be kind of hard to do, but yeah. The purpose is to encourage creative trick plays without the risk of losing possession of a lateral or backward pass, which is a live ball that hits the ground. Okay. A requirement for only 1 foot to be in bounds for possession. So they're doing the college way, not the NFL.
Like that.
I do, yeah, I do like that.
Oh.
Yes.
And that'll speed the game up.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
XFL Director of Football Operations Sam Schwartzstein, what a name, said the change is easier to officiate quickly. Yes, I agree. It also is better for player safety because players take more unbraced falls while trying to place both feet in bounds.
Yes, they do.
Yes, yeah. So,
Yes,
I agree 100% with that one. Yep. A total of 9 officials on the field.
Good Lord.
One of whom will be dedicated solely to spotting the ball to minimize downtime between plays.
Mm-hmm.
XFL head of officiating Dean Blandino, good pick there, said most yes, Blandino is well known in the officiating industry. Yeah, he's a former head official a long time. He's very well known.
He's kind of like Ed Hock.
Oh yes, yeah. His name is very well known in the officiating circle.
Okay, cool.
Said most XFL officials have experience at the Division I college level. Blandino is the former NFL officiating chief. That's who he is. Has been consulting with the XFL for more than a year. Ooh. He performed a similar function for the Alliance last spring. So very similar to what the Alliance did. A video official who can intervene on significant non-reviewable plays when involving player safety or on any calls inside of 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. There will also be booth-initiated reviews of traditionally reviewable plays using Hawkeye technology that ingests video directly from the broadcast truck. That'll be huge.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, directly from the truck. I mean, yeah, that'll be good. So, yeah, video official could step in and say, hey, we need to take a look at this, or this call, important, let's take a look at it. So I like that. Allowing offensive linemen to be up to 2 yards downfield when a pass is thrown, with the hope of minimizing flags on run-pass option plays. So no illegal, ineligible man downfield penalty there. Mm-hmm. So that's understandable. A series of tweaks that the XFL hopes will cap game times at 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yow.
NFL games run about 3:06.
Yeah.
The tweaks include a running game clock that won't stop after incomplete passes or when players go out of bounds, except inside of 2 minutes in each half. Additionally, there will be a 10-minute halftime, only 2 timeouts per team per half, and no coin tosses. The home team always makes the choice to kick, receive, or defer to start the game. The visitors will make the choice to start overtime. So no coin tosses either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very different, but I like the direction they're going.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's going to be.
And the fact that this time they're taking their time and making sure everything's right, making sure everything's good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That everything's kosher.
XFL version 1 sucked.
Well, that's because it was tied too much to the WWE.
Well, that, and it was too gimmicky.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't they didn't really take the time to iron stuff out.
Well, I think the XFL was trying. The first version was trying to be a scripted version of a WWE event.
It was
it was. No, yeah, it was.
It was.
It really was. The announcers had to be told what they had to say, what they were supposed to speak about. We saw in the documentary, the 30 for 30.
I don't feel comfortable saying.
Matt Mascursion. Yeah, good old Matt Mascursion. Yeah, poor Matt Mascursion. Like, I felt for him when he's telling that story. Like, he's got Vince in one ear and who's the guy from Ebersol? Dick Ebersol in the other ear. Remember Matt? Remember what we talked about? Remember Matt? Remember what we talked about? All the way. Say it all the way. And then Dick Ebersol, step away if you have to, Matt. You don't have to talk about it. And he's like, what do I say? And he's like,
you have that.
And they ticked off both of them. I don't feel comfortable.
You have that on live TV, y'all.
Yeah.
It was live freaking TV when he says, I don't feel comfortable talking about this.
Right. And he ticks them both off.
You know you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. And he ticked them both off. So, yeah.
And no gimmicky, he hate me. Both.
Oh yeah. He hated me. Rod Smart. Gosh, he was great for it. He became like the face of the league, but yeah, like it was just all in the face. And also do remember Jeff Braun played in the XFL.
Yes, he did.
The Purdue's coach. Do you remember that? And he played through he got carted off with a concussion or something, or the injury. He got knocked out of a game, and then the very next week he comes back and says, Jeff, how are you playing right now? He goes,
Number one, is this the
XFL? Yes, it is. Number two, do I have a pulse?
Yes,
I do.
Let's go play
football. Yeah, I love that.
Basically, almost throws the mic.
Yeah,
he's like, walked off like, yes.
I love that. Yeah, that was great. So the XFL did have the first version did have its moments, but yeah, it was gimmicky and corny and
hopefully to God, no more of that. This is the XFL.
Yeah, let's please not have that on opening week, Vince. Please, Vince, stay in the background, Vince. Stay up in the box. You can watch games up there. Don't get on the microphone, Vince.
No.
Just stay in the background.
Or do it like you did in the 80s. It wasn't none of the growly, shit.
Right.
It was just in the 80s. Making a reference, it was welcome to WrestleMania 2.
Right.
Just normal.
Right.
You're hyped.
Right.
It wasn't none of this.
Right.
Welcome them.
Right.
Fine. It's your company. Fine. Hey, welcome to the XFL. Hopefully we do a better job than last time. Click.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Be normal, dude.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And believe me, I have seen Vince McMahon normal, so he can be.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, we're gonna definitely try and do game night streams for that when that starts up next month.
Do we know what days the?
The schedule is out.
Okay.
Let me pull that up and let me see.
Any games on a Monday we'll probably be able to do.
Oh yeah, because right now I have Monday, Tuesdays off. So. Let's see. Oh yes, I know you use cookies. Okay. It's mostly Saturday, Sunday.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the time. I mean, Saturdays are out because I work like 1:45 to 10 right now. Now Sunday, lately I've been doing the shorter shifts, so
like 6 to 10,
in the evening. So if there's a game like before that, it could possibly.
And there's not 32 teams in the XFL, so
yeah,
it's probably only going to be like
there's only 8. Yeah, although I can DVR. I can always DVR the ones like featuring the Dragons, which is the team I'm really going to follow. I know what was one you were interested in?
I think
you said Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
you like the Tampa Bay Vipers. Yep. So we're following different teams, but but yeah, it's going to be and the multiple TV networks they got that stunned me. There's going to be games on ABC, Fox, ESPN, and FS1, like all over the map. So.
Which you get most of those.
I get all of those, in fact. Yeah, I get all of those. Because remember, I got my locals back, remember? So, and ESPN2 some weeks too. So a couple games on ESPN2, like in week 4 and week 6. But mostly like every week there's at least one game on ABC, at least one game on Fox, maybe two, and at least one game on ESPN or FS1. So,
Yeah.
So
do we know what times yet? Do we know the time slots?
Yeah. So like for example, week 1 Saturday there's a game at 2 and a game at 5, and then Sunday game at 2, game at 5. So it's either 2 and 5 or like 3 and 6 or 4 and 7. So yeah, that looks
Probably
to be
get the game at 2.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Sundays.
Yeah. So and it's interesting, like the first 8 weeks it's just Saturday, Sunday. Then week 9 and 10, there's one game on a Thursday night. So just those last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Before they start the playoffs in April. So because then once the East final will be on Fox, the West final will be on ESPN on April 18th and 19th, and the championship April 26th on ESPN.
Kind of wish they ran till August.
Yeah.
As in fill the void completely.
Completely, yeah. But this is just February to April, so. We won't really be able to watch week 8.
Huh.
That's con weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so week 8's out. That's con weekend, so that'll be out. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking
What's
forward
week
to
1 looking like?
Week 1, February 8th. That's the Saturday. Seattle is at DC.
Okay.
That's at 2 o'clock on ABC. And then LA is at Houston, 5 o'clock on Fox. And then Sunday, Tampa Bay is at New York, 2 o'clock on Fox.
Nice.
And St. Louis is at Dallas, 5 o'clock ESPN.
Okay.
So that's week 1.
I think covering the Sunday day game.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, New York. Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be good.
When's your first? Dragons, is it? Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle's at DC on the Saturday at 2 o'clock on
Oh.
ABC. Yeah, I'll have the DVR. I'll have the DVR that one. Yeah.
DVR Seattle and DVR the Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no.
We might be able to catch
Probably
the Tampa Bay game in its
Tampa Bay
entirety.
live.
We'll watch Tampa Bay game in its entirety. Yeah, we'll be
That's
able
a
to.
2?
Yeah, that's a 2. Yeah, that's a 2. So if my shifts keep staying the way they are, then
6
we'll be
to
able to
10,
we'll be able to watch the Tampa Bay game in its entirety.
3:30.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
They want it to be
they only want like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah. So
So-
2, 3.
So by the time that game
4,
ends,
about 4:45.
then the second one will be ready to get underway. Yeah. So they spread that out pretty nicely if they want that pace. So no. Yeah, looking forward to that. One more thing, wild card weekend. Let's talk NFL playoffs a bit as well to wrap this up. Yeah, wild card weekend
Crazy.
was the most insane I have seen in a long while.
First of all, the thank yous. Thank you to Tennessee.
Yes. The Tennessee Titans are the new America's team, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we children friendly or no?
I've been marking all of mine not for kids. I've been marking all mine not.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, New England Patriots. I got one message for you. Very simple. It's one finger.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was so great.
Sorry to any of our church people that watch this, but I absolutely hate the Patriots. I'm sorry.
Dude, everyone outside of Boston does. Like, come on
I
now.
hate them.
Yeah. No, it was so good to watch that game. And Mike Vrabel, the former Patriot himself, to out-chess Belichick. And,
Screw you.
Right. And
Belichick.
And how fitting also that on the final drive, the one that intercepts Tom Brady for the pick 6, Logan Ryan, former Patriot. So how fitting was that?
Thank you to the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So great stuff.
And we are also going to have a brand new Super Bowl this year because neither team
right
now made it.
Rams didn't make the playoffs.
Rams didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And with New England losing to Tennessee, we are guaranteed a new Super Bowl.
Yep.
Ain't going to be no repeats for either.
No. Yeah. New Super Bowl, new champs. So brand new. So Tennessee, great win by the Titans to pull that off. I mean, and I said, of the 6 seeds that were in the hunt between Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Oakland, who did I say had the best chance to beat New England? Tennessee. And it showed, and they pulled it off.
Yeah.
So kudos. I mean, New England was just, they were let down by the receiving core all year. Brady does not have the weapons that he used to, and it showed. Edelman is all he really had.
New England Patriots dynasty dead. I don't know if I would say that yet. Because, well, no, because typically if they either miss the Super Bowl or don't make the playoffs one year, they're back and then they win.
Yeah.
Like every other year, it seems.
But it's good. It's gonna hinge on Brady's future, where if he stays or if he goes. It's gonna really exactly. It's gonna depend on that.
Please, no copyright strikes. Yeah. That song just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, claim at least, but not. Yeah, a strike is worse than a claim. But yeah. Yeah, it's going to depend on what Brady does and everything surrounding that. And if the division, if Buffalo can still stay consistently good, if they can challenge for the division.
I'd like to see New England not even make the playoffs.
Oh, I know. Yeah, everyone would want that. Trust me, believe me. And then on the other side of the AFC, the Houston Texans, my goodness, what they were able to do. And look, when the Bills were up 16-0 with like 1:30 to go in the third, I thought the game was done. Yeah. Like I thought Texans were like, here we go again. Texans wild card round, home game. They crap that every single year, and it gets frustrating. And then, but apparently the Bills they choked on the big stage and the pressure of the moment. And
they always do.
Well, yeah, and it's like the Bills haven't been in this position in a long time, and Josh Allen first start in the playoffs, and it's like, and experience sometimes matters. And Deshaun Watson and that offense, it showed that experience mattered. And you give Deshaun Watson any opportunity, any opening, he takes it. Yeah. And sure. he leads that franchise, and JJ Watt coming back and they took advantage of it, and 19 unanswered points later, they're in the lead, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, they might do this. Yeah. Now, I thought Bill O'Brien was stupid to give the Bills the ball back late in the game and set up that tying field goal.
For those of you that can't see the screen, I'm flipping off.
Oh, for Matt Rule, yeah. Yeah. But, I thought that was a questionable decision by O'Brien, but because they sometimes question his play calling and decision making. He
not going for it.
No, he should have gone for it. He should have gone for it to put him away, and he gave the ball back to Buffalo with time left, and so they have a chance to either win the game or kick a field goal, force overtime. So I thought they should, put on the gas and seal up the win, but no, they give it back. I understand you want to trust your defense, but it's like you got a chance to put them away, and you give Buffalo the ball back. So I question that, but. Yes. They got the job done in overtime, which is good. But now next week, Tennessee's tall order is trying to stop Lamar Jackson.
Nah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. I would, it'd be a nice story, but again, as we said, too tough to prepare for, too tough to scheme for.
Although, game we're going to probably reference now, or maybe. Who would have thought Minnesota would beat New Orleans?
Yes, nobody. No analyst that I saw. Yeah, no. So I think we both have Baltimore beating Tennessee. Mm-hmm. You give Houston a chance to beat Kansas City and Arrowhead.
Ooh, slim.
Yeah, I really as much again the fan in me wants to. I like the Texans.
Would I like to see that?
Yes, but. It's Kansas City. It's Mahomes at Arrowhead.
Yeah,
and that's so tough. So I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be Baltimore, Kansas City in the AFC.
Yeah. And then now who goes out of that?
It's in Baltimore, and Baltimore's a tough place to play. I'm not saying Mahomes can't win on the road, but
and what did we have? Ravens Packers Super Bowl. I think that's
I originally wanted Ravens Saints, but now the Saints are out. So
and Matt wants Ravens Packers with the pack
with the
coming out.
Really,
Tanyan gets his Super Bowl.
Oh, only because of Tanyan. All right. A lot of people are doubting the Packers.
He wants Tanyan. He wants Robert Tanyan to get his Super Bowl.
A lot of people though are doubting the Packers though. A lot of people are writing them off. So
go ahead, write them off.
Yeah, a lot of people think that their 13-3 record is a facade.
Honestly. This is the way I say it. Do you remember New England last year? Everybody's writing them off. Everybody's saying they suck.
That's true.
They come out with a vengeance, pissed off, and
that's true.
They play.
Yeah.
And hey, you say we suck. Well, guess what? We're holding the trophy,
Yeah,
so
right.
we can't suck that bad.
Right. Yeah. But yeah.
Same thing.
So, if I had to pick right now between Baltimore and Kansas City, I would lean Baltimore. I think I would.
Well, it's at Baltimore.
Yeah, I would. I'm not saying Kansas City can't win that game, but I just think Baltimore's been on a roll, too talented. I think it'd be a close game. Obviously, it'd be a fun game to watch.
Baltimore having the home field advantage.
Yes,
in that
I would
game,
lean Baltimore. I would lean Baltimore.
So you say Baltimore comes out of
the
the
AFC. So now let's talk about the NFC again.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to start Minnesota, New Orleans because
Insane.
no analyst that I saw throughout the week picked the Vikings at all. Nobody picked Minnesota to win that game. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Minnesota showed up. Like Kirk Cousins balled out. Dalvin Cook was back, and he jump-started the offense.
Yeah.
And Thielen and Diggs. I mean,
Thielen tore him.
Thielen tore him up. Yeah. And
surgeon, man.
Yeah.
Carved him up like a precision.
And the Diggs, though, was getting all Keyshawn Johnson levels of frustrated that he wasn't getting thrown the ball. You see him on the sideline throwing his helmet and screaming at people. I had a feeling he was going to write the sequel to Keyshawn Johnson's book. Just give me the damn ball part 2.
Yeah.
Just because he was just so mad. Kyle Rudolph, I mean, my goodness, one of the best tight ends in the league, catches the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Although Saints fans probably think there was offensive pass interference. They thought they got screwed for the push-off for the third in a row.
He pushed off.
So the Saints fans think they got screwed again.
I myself personally will vindicate your asses.
Okay.
He pushed off.
Yeah.
You see it
He did.
in the slow-mo replay. He pushed off.
Yeah, he did.
The officiating crew
They didn't even review it.
They missed it, didn't review it. You know what? The players can't trash the NFL, but you know what? I'm trashing your asses, okay?
Yeah, that's
y'all missed it. Y'all screwed them. Yeah.
Again, and it's becoming a recurring theme for the Saints. 3 straight years now they've been eliminated because of controversial calls or no calls.
Oh.
It is. It's I understand Sean Payton deserves a little karma for the onside kick, but that's it's becoming a trend.
Yeah.
So
and going forward, I will say, since I know this isn't like geared to children, occasionally I will probably curse.
Occasionally,
yes. Occasionally I'll curse, but it won't be the bad one.
I thought I was going to lean to occasionally I trash Sean Payton for being a jackass. For doing the onside kick, because you do.
I hate Sean Payton for that call, mainly because it was against the Colts. But you know what? Peyton Manning also threw I don't know how many interceptions.
And how many times you screamed the TV, that should be illegal. It should be illegal.
It should.
Yeah.
If you take the kickoff to start the game, you should not be allowed to onside kick at the second half. Give them a chance.
Right. Yeah. So.
And I will never change on that.
Right. No, I know you won't, but yeah. And of course, Kirk Cousins in the locker room, I love it. He goes in to say, hey, I'm so proud of you guys. This is so great that we got this win. And then he goes, I got 3 words for you. You like that? He's probably the catchphrase and everyone went crazy. I just love it. But you like that? it was like mic drop, just brilliant from Kirk Cousins. So, but Kirk showed up. He showed up on the big stage. Everyone said Kirk Cousins. Who
was the first you like that?
No, that was Cousins in Washington. That was same quarterback, same guy. Yes, okay. After he won the game in Washington, he did the "you like that" to the camera, and so he brought it back in the locker room. But everyone bashes Kirk Cousins. Can never win the big game. 0-9 on Monday Night Football. Can never get it done. And then he shows up. So and balls out. So
probably lit a fire under his butt and pissed him off.
Can Minnesota win in San Francisco this week?
Yeah.
That's even a tall order than the Saints.
Highly doubtable.
Right.
But not impossible.
No, not impossible, because considering the 49ers defense has not been elite as they once were at the start of the year, so they are vulnerable. So, I mean,
number 2, Minnesota obviously has shown that they can win on the road.
Absolutely, yes, they can. So yeah. It would not surprise me if I had to pick. I'd still going to pick San Francisco, but it would not shock me if Minnesota pulled it off again, based on what we saw against New Orleans. It would not surprise me.
Doubtful, unlikely, but not impossible.
No, not impossible. Not as in. I think Minnesota's better chance to advance than Tennessee does. In terms of the 6 seeds that are left, I think Minnesota's a better chance than Tennessee.
Okay.
Of beating San Francisco than Tennessee does beating Baltimore. I think. I think the percentages are more in Minnesota's favor.
So who goes to the ship on the NFC side? Conference championship.
I think Seattle can beat Green Bay.
Okay.
I do. I think because again, Seattle has shown this year they can win on the road. Normally, Seattle teams of the past could not win on the road. Remember, they were always the home team at the 12s. Always home team can't win on the road.
So
but this year, Seattle is winning games on the road. Russell Wilson has been actually better on the road than at home. Yeah, that is odd, but he's doing better on the road than he is at home. And Seattle was able to beat Philadelphia last week. Granted, another ugly game because both those teams have been really banged up, losing a lot of their talented players.
So you're calling San Francisco
and Seattle. I think Seattle's going to go into Green Bay and win.
Okay.
I think they will beat the Packers. I question because Russ is playing so well on the road. Rodgers, outside of Devontae Adams, he doesn't have really much in the way of a strong receiving core. I think Seattle's receiving core is stronger.
So
I think Green Bay has the better running backs, obviously, because Jones and Williams are healthy, and Seattle's down a former shell of beast mode and Travis Homer. But
did they get Lynch back?
Yes, they did. Okay. Yeah, he's been playing the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so. I think, but again, just because of how well Russ is playing on the road, that's why I'm picking Seattle to beat Green Bay.
Then let's see. Then who goes to the dance?
See, in San Francisco and Seattle played twice this year, and they played both really good games, really close games. Came down to the wire both times, and they alternated wins. So this would be like the rubber match. So this would be. This is tough. This. I would love to see Lamar and Russell go at it in the final. Okay. I would love to see Baltimore, Seattle. I would love it. I think that's what I'm going to pick because when Russell is clutch, when he's playing at a high level and he's determined, like he ups his game and he makes everyone around him better. Not that Garoppolo doesn't, and Garoppolo's got a ton of talent there too with Mostert and Kittle and Sanders and all that. But when Russell amps his play up at a high level, and usually it's the playoffs when he does that, Seattle plays a lot better. And so I think that's what he's going to do. And so I think I would love to see Lamar and Russell go at each other in the finals. I'm going to go Baltimore, Seattle.
Okay. I'd like to see Baltimore, Green Bay, or Baltimore, Seattle. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't give the 49ers any chance either.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the defense. It's if they could return to the level they were earlier in the year, then I would think more of San Francisco. But considering they regressed over the last few weeks of the season to give up more points than usual, that's where I worry about San Francisco. Seattle at least has been consistent on both sides of the ball, so that's why I think more highly of Seattle than the others around them. So, well, I think we've covered the gamut. I think, we've talked about our fantasy year. We talked, recap the season, awards, XFL, college, the coaching changes, and NFL playoffs. So I think we've covered every base possible.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. Again, apologies for the chat not working. Again, blame YouTube for that. I don't know why it doesn't want to work. But thank you guys so much, of course, for tuning in, for again the views, the thumbs ups, the likes. We very much appreciate that as always. Yes. And next week is going to be a big week. Monday, ATSD episode 40. That's a big one, of course. So I know 40 episodes. Yeah. I never thought it'd go on that long, but so. More pony stuff, more experiences, more to talk about there. And then also Monday night, first time ever I'm doing this. Yeah, this is news to you. Yeah. So you might want to join in on this one.
Okay, what's up?
Live commentary, national championship game, LSU Clemson.
Oh.
I want to do it. I want to do it. So
okay.
Yeah. So are you down on joining me on Monday night?
Probably, yeah.
So I want to do it for the championship game. So we're going to do that on Monday night. And then the 14th, this coming Tuesday, Tracking the Madness debuting for 2020. So first TTM of the year. So getting the bracketology ready. So a lot to come in the coming weeks. Thank you all for being patient. For those of you that stuck around, I know I lost a few subscribers. I'm down to like 61.
Why?
I don't know. But I know the ones that appreciate it stick around.
Yeah.
I know the ones that like the content, what we do, they stick around and they stick through it. So thank you for that.
And I guess as far as football, other than I was going to say see you at the Super Bowl, but then he said,
well, we'll do the college stream, and then we'll do, of course, the Super Bowl on the 2nd.
Super Bowl
on February 2nd will be the next one, then the XFL. So
yeah,
that'll be the football stretch to come. So
yes.
So that'll do it for this one. So until next week, with more streams come your way, for AppleDash, I'm Spiky Dash. See you on the next stream. Have a good night.